Hello, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Do you mind confirming your name and date of birth for me?
Brittany, Raj, March 94.
Awesome. Thank you, Brittany. What's been going on recently?
Um, Not much.
Is that like a real not much, or is that like a, you know, not much?
It's a
I can work with that. Um, so how are your kids doing?
um they're good. Yeah, it's just, you know, things have been going kind of crazy.
Mhm.
This week especially is gonna be just really difficult. There's
Mhm.
just I guess I've been feeling mostly just like overwhelmed.
Mhm. Was this the week your extended family was coming in?
Yeah.
Yeah. How has that been?
Well, they're not here yet, so that means that I'm still in cleaning and preparing mode, and I
Hmm.
I don't like it. It's like my least favorite time of having guests is
Oh
before they
yeah, for sure.
is my place clean enough? What are they gonna think? Because I mean, they haven't been here before. They've never been here before, and they saw our last place that we lived in, but I felt like my life was a little bit more put together in the when we
Mm-hmm.
now I just always feel like everything's a mess and everything's in chaos. But yeah.
Do you mean it is in chaos just because you feel like you can't get it up to their standards, or
I don't
what do you
know.
mean it's in chaos?
I just feel like overall my life is just chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are chaotic. I'm not gonna say that too loudly because I'm not sure they're asleep yet. Um, yeah, it's just so much. I'm just so tired.
Hmm.
I just remember at Christmas time, people kept asking me what I wanted for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want? Like, I don't want any like stuff.
Yeah.
Only thing that I could think of was just me time, like away. And so just like jokingly, in the sense that I wouldn't expect anybody to do it for me, I just said vacation.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing I could truly think of. And I just said it in like a funny way, like, oh, I just need vacation.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
probably true. You've been really busy, haven't you?
yeah,
What
I
all have you
just
been doing? You've been
um
doing school and you have two
mm,
kids.
yeah.
Has there been anything else?
Um I homeschool my daughter.
Hmm.
She is actually We are enrolling her right now in a school, and um, we're enrolling her in a school, and it's like it's a relief, but at the same time, it feels so stressful.
Hmm.
Um, Mostly just because it's a private school, and it's the only school in this whole place. Like I don't even like the charter schools. Um, There was one charter school that I was trying to get her into, but they're so full, and she like the wait list is so long, and we couldn't wait to see if she could possibly
Mhm.
get in this year. Like she needs to be in school. So we're doing this private school, and it costs money, and it's not free, and so it's
Right.
I'm really excited for her to be there and to be making friends and to be in the classroom setting, but I'm also just like, where is this money gonna come from?
Mhm.
Like, it's stressful,
Yeah.
and she has we're enrolling her currently, and there's some issues that have already come up with, like, just little things. They're not big deals.
Mhm.
They're just little.
Yeah.
Um,
If you
yeah.
had to rate your stress, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being, like, "I'm not stressed at all," and 10 being, "I'm so stressed, my hair's falling out, and I can't do anything," how stressed would you say you are?
Um, Probably like a 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been doing anything like, have you noticed anything makes it better?
Exercise,
Mhm.
being outside, and thankfully the weather has been good enough that it's, you know,
Yeah.
been able to be outside. We did some gardening the other day. We planted a butterfly garden, so
Oh,
that
fun.
yeah,
That's
just
awesome.
didn't because we live in an apartment.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, that sounds really fun, though.
yeah.
Um, has this feeling of, like, stress and anxiety been just this year, like, with COVID, or when did you first notice it starting?
I have been stressed for like 6 years,
Mm.
7 years.
And how old's
I
your daughter?
just uh, 6.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. My sh started before her though.
Mhm. Like, when you were pregnant or
Before that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a cause of it, or did it just, like, happen one day? You just noticed that you were feeling stressed?
Um, February 9th, 2013 is when I started to date my husband.
Mhm.
And up until that point, I just had, regular college issues.
Right.
But then when I started dating him, it was just like way different. And people started saying, like, oh, you don't smile as much anymore. You're not as happy. You're not as cheerful. And at that time, I was just like, oh, well, I just have a lot on my plate.
Mhm.
And I guess hindsight 2020, vision is better when you're looking back.
Mhm.
So, yeah, but that's probably when it began.
Okay. Do you do you think, like, I mean, you said your vision now is 2020, looking back at it. So, I guess what does that mean to you? Like, are you wishing you would have done things differently, or are you just trying to figure out how to cope with the stress, or what does that mean exactly?
Both.
Both. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a little bit of what has been going on. It does sound like a very stressful situation.
Hmm.
Um, have you done like counseling or anything before to, you know, kind of to work through this, or is this the first time?
No, the last time that I had counseling was like one session, and it was just to diagnose me with postpartum depression.
Oh, okay.
And then we moved right after that, and I just never found someone new to talk to. So
Hmm.
this is technically like my first session, real
Yeah.
session.
Well, that's good. There's always a place to start. Um, Well, given that this is your first real session, I'm gonna do something called a mental status exam just to get a baseline of like cognitive function and memory and stuff. And then we'll do this every couple appointments just to see how everything's going as we're working through things.
Okay.
All right, so there are some pretty silly questions in here, but just bear with me. What is today's date, including the month and year?
March 8th, 2021,
And what is the day of the week?
Monday.
And do you know how old you are?
26.
6. And when were you born?
March 29, 94.
Perfect. That's what you said in the beginning too. And who is the current president of the United States?
Biden.
Correct. And who was president before him?
Trump.
Yep. And then do you remember your mother's maiden name?
A bear. That was a hard time.
Okay, and then the last one is like the silliest question, but if you start at 20, are you able to subtract 3 and keep subtracting 3 until I tell you that you're good?
17. 14. 11. 8.
Okay, you're good.
Okay. Wow, my brain is not working tonight.
No, you have got a lot on your plate. It totally makes sense. Um, kind of going back into what you were talking about, you mentioned that you've been previously diagnosed with postpartum depression. Have any of those feelings continued on, even now that you're out of your postpartum stage?
Um, a little bit. When I see my regular doctor, they always give me that silly screening test, but I usually pass it. So like I know I would like to think that I'm really self-aware of like how I feel all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know when I start to feel more depressed,
Mm-hmm.
I do things to counteract it and I bring myself back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned like going outside and exercising. Were some of those, is that was for anxiety though? Is it the same things for?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Have you ever, so it's just been kind of like an anxiety and mild depression type thing for you? Okay. Have you ever experienced any like abuse or trauma or anything?
Yeah.
We don't have to go into detail of it, but it was just some stuff that I needed to get baselines for. If you want to go into it, we can, but I'm not going to make you. Have you ever had like panicky feelings when you get this anxious feeling that you've been describing?
I have had multiple panic attacks actually.
Mm-hmm. What
I have not
happens
had
when
one.
you haven't what?
I have not had for a couple years though.
Okay, that's good. What happens to you when you have a panic attack? What are the symptoms?
I am not going to say all of them because some of them are like really just humiliating.
Oh, okay.
But the biggest thing is I know that I'm starting to have a panic attack because my whole body will just start to feel tingly and numb.
Mm-hmm.
And it just spreads from there. And then I start to feel just really super sweaty and cold, and I start to shiver. And if it reaches that point, I know that I just have to like ride it out and wait till the end.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times when I start to get the tingling and numbness in my arms and my hands, I'm able to sit and just do some like really deep breathing, and
Mhm.
it usually helps bring me back. But yeah.
Yeah. The deep breathing really helps, but then also being like mindful of like your muscles, because I know a lot of people get like really tense when that's happening. That can help you kind of calm down. And then it sounds silly, but like putting your hands in ice water will also help, because like that tingling sensation is because you're going into like fight or flight instead of rest and digest phase. So if you put your hands in the ice water, then it helps your body kind of like go back to normal. So those are some things that I do when I start feeling panicky.
I've
um,
I've never heard that. If
yeah,
I if I ever have another attack, I might try that.
yeah, it's really helpful because it's really like gets your body out of it really quickly. So yeah. Well, you mentioned you haven't had those for quite a while. So what I'm hearing is that you've really been feeling just a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. It sounds like it's mostly around just like home life. Is there any others areas of stress that you're really having right now?
I am feeling a teensy bit anxious, though. I do have an interview on Wednesday.
Ooh, how exciting. What is it for?
Um, the Oregon State Hospital internship.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Is that like your top choice?
it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really awesome. You'll do great there, and I'm sure you'll get it.
Thanks. I
Yeah.
hope so. It sounds really, really intense. We just got an email today. We have to answer some questions and send it back to them and before the interview. And then the
Mhm.
interview is like this huge like group process. What are you doing? What are you doing?
If you need to go, we can pick this up next time.
Do you have what you need for the video?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. I'll stop recording. Let me.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I completely